I talked about building out capabilities and assets that you believe could not be built, and then make it happen in different places and use that blueprint in different parts of the world. There's a notion, the word that's used a lot, especially if you're from Silicon Valley, you'll hear the word fad, faddish. A
Mm,
fad is something that's interesting for now. It's everywhere. It's in how everyone wants to create. It's in even the office culture. It's in the fact that now you can have everybody provides this all these companies will provide, so they have a gym, they'll have laundry, all those kinds of things. These are
okay.
all fads. They are
Mm,
fads of how the office place should look like. There are fads in technology. You see a new technology come in, it'll be some sort of development environment, and all of a sudden all the hot programmers are doing that, and now that's the next hot thing. And there'll be a whole slew of startups that will claim they're going to be successful because they started with a particular technology. Tell me about that. As opposed to the claiming that they're going to be successful because they started with that technology. We've seen this game play again and again. So sustainability is also about recognizing what are fads and what are long-term virtues,
mm,
right?
yeah.
So a long-term virtue, as an example, is developing people, populations, and from regions that other people have been neglecting. That has a sustainable impact because there will always be places that are underdeveloped. There'll always be places that the bigger companies and others will ignore because they tend to follow each other. They tend to pay premium and hire each other's people. They tend to go to the same universities. I was part of that system too. They tend to go and hire from the same top universities.
Mm,
So that is not sustainable because it makes everybody do the same thing. And then all of a sudden you have pockets like Silicon Valley and others where you have an absolute concentration of talent. Everybody's fighting for the same thing. Cost of living has gone up, rents have gone up, and then all of a sudden you find that your next generation of people cannot afford to live there. You can analyze this in a blink of an eye. In a sense, sustainability is to put yourself in positions where this does not happen. So some of the axioms for us were: do not go into cities. That was one example. So you translate that into rules that you can actually enact against. So one of the rules is don't go into cities. Why? Because they're already all across the world, India, China, all across the world, they've become congested. In many cases, they're polluted. Certainly in the developing world, the quality of life is terrible. People commute an hour to get to work, and the cost of living is going up. And all the malaises that you've already seen in other parts are coming here too. This is true in India, this is true in China, it's true in other parts of the Western world as well. So what you took is you took the idea of sustainability and you translated that into one principle. The principle is I'm not going to go into cities. I'm going to go into small towns. And that serves two purposes. I'm helping in not congesting, I'm helping in not polluting, I'm helping in from an environmental perspective. From a people perspective, it supports that too. I'm helping in developing people who otherwise might be overlooked. I'm helping in developing communities because especially in developing countries, you create even we create 5,000 jobs. That has repercussions for 50,000 people or more because they create the economy, they build it, they buy locally, they invest in local businesses. All of a sudden, your impact on 5,000 is really an impact on 50,000 or 100,000 or even much larger. So that's the second element of that sustainability. Translate it into specific principles. I'm not going to invest in cities. I'm going to invest in people. I'm going to invest in communities and then give it the time. And then it grows. And then over time, you see that you've actually made a difference.